Today we will be taking on the next 100 days of hardcore Minecraft. A lot of work went into this episode, so please consider giving it a like. And as a reminder, a world download will be released once I die or make it to 1000 days. If you guys missed the last episode, where we killed the Wither, check it out here. And without further ado, we have a ton of work to do this episode, so let's get into it. Hello and welcome back everybody to another episode of the Totemless Hardcore world. Today we have a lot on the agenda and a ton of things to achieve. So I got ourselves a little bit of a blueprint so we could follow along with the project as we go, among other things. In the last episode, we got ourselves our first elytra with one big problem. We don't have any gunpowder for rockets. So let's fix that now. Okay, so I ran out of unnamed cats to add to the creeper farm. So I've been having to breed up a few more, but can't go wrong with too many cats though, am I right? Especially in a hardcore world. So let's go ahead and move these guys over to the gunpowder farm now. Alright, the whole gang is here, ready to scare some creepers for our gunpowder farm, but I'm not going in there at night. So I got a power 5 guy instead. It's the next day now, and it's time to get to work to making this farm operational so I can start collecting resources as soon as possible to move forward to other projects that we have planned. Okay, this should be the last and final cat now set into place in order to make this farm functional as a proper source of gunpowder. But first, we're gonna need to set up a killing chamber before we knock out these torches, otherwise we're not gonna have a good time. Now I know what you're thinking. Ugly, but it's functional, okay? We're gonna need magma blocks to move forward. So, while we're out here in the nether collecting ourselves some resources, I'm just gonna explain to you guys exactly what's kind of going on here. So, this farm is based off a logical Geek Boy design. I think he's the best person to go to when it comes to any kind of gunpowder related farm. The magma blocks are going to be extremely cost effective moving forward, and it will do a considerable amount of damage, not the most crazy amount of damage to the creepers, but will definitely get the job done. Okay, so now that we have more than enough magma blocks in order to get this done, I'm going to be placing a quick ring of magma blocks around the outer circle of our gunpowder farm that we have set up. While I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking about how I'm going to set up the collection for this entire farm. That's why this whole farm has been raised a few blocks above the ground. I think we're going to be using a hopper minecart system in order to collect all of our gunpowder. Okay, so if we're going to be going with the rail system, we're going to need a considerable amount of powered rails in order to keep our hopper minecart going. This should be a pretty significant and pretty fast, cost-effective way in order to collect all of our drops. And this guy, well, I'm not 100% sure he's okay. And, of course, we're going to need a crazy amount of levers in order to power up all these powered rails. A cheeky little collection area, so we're going to need a couple hoppers. And we will make ourselves a few chests in order to collect all the gunpowder and have things go places. My inventory is a mess. Okay, so now that I have all the resources in order to push forward with this project, I'm going to start placing down a small foundation in order to place some of my rails on, so I have something to work with over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying out all these blocks. Doesn't have to be anything pretty. I'm going with stone here just because I have an abundance of stone, and I am trying to line all of this up as well. I think we're gonna do here is we are gonna make it just kind of go around in a circle, and it's gonna go back and forth. I think that's pretty much how I'm gonna line up my rails. Nothing too fancy. Should just be able to get the job done. Okay, if I can get my way out of here, that would be absolutely amazing at this point. There it is. So now we're gonna start actually placing down our rails. Over here, I'm kind of feeling like that will be the area that it kind of doubles back. And I'm going to kind of go around here. Obviously, with the unpowered rails going around the corners, I'm going to have to kind of place in a few more things here. Looks like we're going to do rails the entire way through. So I'll probably have to just add a couple more blocks on the inside. And that's no big deal. So plop all these guys down. Don't miss setting up rails, but I think this is like probably the most cost-effective way in order to pick up all of the gunpowder. And when it comes down to rails, they're not that laggy either, especially if you've got an abundance of these kind of going on and around your area. So right around here is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. So I'm looking at this. So that will be like the one rail where it's going to start right there. And then over here, I'm going to bring this guy back around one more layer, which shouldn't be too bad. Yes, so let's just pop a block in here. Perfect. So we'll have to come in here with my unpowered rails, do the exact same thing on the inside here. This should have full coverage over the entire farm, and we shouldn't be losing any drops that could be potentially despawning along the way. Although I don't think that's going to be an issue. Remember, I am building this farm pretty close down to the ground, so we can create longevity with this farm. I don't really want to have a place where I have to AFK, because I will not be AFKing in this world. I don't think AFKing in a hardcore world is typically safe, like at all. Gives me high anxiety. So I prefer this method of just lighting up every single cave in the vicinity to make these farms work for us. Okay, so over here, it's a little bit weird. So I think I'm going to bring it up to around there. And we're going to plop this guy over here. And we'll just set up a return area right here. And we will work on powering this and seeing, hopefully, our rail system go back and forth. But first, I almost forgot one of the most important parts of this entire project. I actually had to light up all the rails. So let's go ahead and do that first before moving on with this collection system here. This is going to be extremely crude, so I just want to make something that's functional. There's probably an easier way I probably could have done this, but honestly, sticks and cobblestone, extremely cost effective when it comes down to levers. And if you know me on a personal if you guys know me on a personal level, then you'll know that I absolutely love the crazy amount of levers in any redstone contraption just to make it look overly complicated, because redstone is not my forte. But this is looking pretty good to me. Everything is looking powered at this point. So all we need to do is potentially power this guy. I need a collection system here real fast. So let's pop one of these guys in here. So there's no center really. I'm going to plop it right here. And I'm going to put a hopper and a chest over here, so we can have it just feed straight into our chest. So we'll pop a chest like that. And we'll get it behind here. We'll put two hoppers at the back of there, so it should collect fairly quickly every time the minecart goes over top of those hoppers. Should be pretty straightforward, and everything should get collected into that chest. Nice. And of course, the final thing that we need to do is we need to add a hopper minecart to actually collect all the gunpowder. Looks as if everything is working to plan. Let me look at this thing real fast to make sure that the cart is going 100% smoothly back and forth. And from the looks of it, it looks like it's working beautifully. doesn't slow down. At this point, we had one final thing to do, and that was to knock out all of the torches that we had within this farm. So there should be about 4 torches per farm, and I think I'm going to work my way up so I don't get blown up by a creeper. So let's just quickly knock these out. I mean down. We're going to be working our way down, you doofus. Come on now. And there you have it. We are fully done. This should be 100% operational. Now we could check that guy off the list. There we have it. Gunpowder. But one big thing that we will need to do moving forward is we're going to have to light up every single cave within this entire vicinity. Which honestly sounds way easier said than done. I don't know if you guys remember the 1.17 update where caves and cliffs are now far bigger than what they used to be. So we'll see how many torches we can really scrounge together here, and I might even steal what we got left out of the furnaces too. All right, how much do you guys want to bet, even though we have a ridiculous amount of torches, it still isn't going to be enough to light up as many caves as we have to? And it does in fact look like I underestimated the sizes of the caves around my base, and this is definitely not going to be enough torches. Holy. But we're going to make do. Okay, so since we didn't actually have enough torches to light up all the caves in the vicinity, I'm actually going to make a platform way above here. Not the AFK, but to at least get some gunpowder ready to go. It doesn't need to be anything too fancy. This should do just fine. And let's check out our stonks. 55 gunpowder, which is a lot better than I was doing. Okay, now that we have the creeper farm finalized and we actually have enough rockets, it's time to take on a project inside of the end. We're going to be taking on an enderman. Oh my gosh, hello, dude? Okay, so that's one peeved off bee right there. Hopefully he doesn't chase me down and kill us. Anyways, we're just going to gather up a few resources so we can actually make ourselves a proper experience farm moving forward, because repairing all of our mending gear is becoming increasingly longer and longer between, it's slowing us down. We will buy ourselves some ender pearls in order to get ourselves an endermite. This should aggro the enderman moving forward. Hopefully this is enough to actually get one. We'll see. Gonna grab ourselves some leaves. As for those of you guys who don't know, endermen can't spawn on leaves. Okay, time for everybody's favorite part. You know what that means. We're gonna have to pillar out from the main end island at least 2 stacks away. So here we go. Okay, the truly scary part. The water. Yeah, F that noise. Okay, so what makes this truly scary is the fact that the water has to go all the way down to y = 0. Although you don't really take void damage until you're at least -64, it's still enough to freak you out. I have my elytra on, of course. That's one of my rules, to always wear my elytra. No chest plates allowed. So here we go. All right, that should do it. Got rid of the water now. Just waiting for it to kind of clear out so I can go down to that final layer down there. Let's go. Okay, and one very important thing that I almost forgot, we're gonna need to name our endermite. Okay, so now with our endermite in place, I think we are just about ready to make this farm operational so we can finally start getting ourselves a significant amount of experience moving forward so we can actually repair our gear so much quicker to take on bigger projects in the future. And believe me, I've got some massive projects in mind for this world. Okay, let's try not to kill this guy though, because the worst thing possible is for him to fall out of his minecart. Coming in here, looks like everything's properly lit up. Good. Let's just come over here. I'm gonna pop, where's it at? That. We'll go over right up in there. Let me try to secure this guy a bit better. Like that. Perfect. Let's get these torches out of the way just so we can kind of run a quick test to see if this thing will actually work and be functional moving forward. All the way up here, and let's see what happens without looking at the Enderman. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're able to actually reach the Endermite, which is perfect. It does look like they're kind of piling up though.
It was at this moment that he knew.
I fudged up. Dude, I must have had at least 30 Endermen looking at me right there. That was definitely a sketchy situation I don't ever want to put myself into again. I'm going to let them despawn while I sit back here. Okay, so I think I kind of figured out how I want to approach the kill chamber in here. I think we wanted to elevate it up. I'm going to add some trap doors that should trick them into thinking that they can just walk off the edge. Should help with the flow here a little bit. It's a little bit sketchy using up all this black glass because it's really weird knowing where I can and cannot stand or walk, but I like it. But I'm just going to fill this in, making sure that the Endermite is safe. They should walk right up into there. And we'll just sit back here and we'll swipe away at them. Should be able to reach the back wall as well. So that's good. Okay, so here we are running a little bit of a test to see if our Endermen are flowing into our kill chamber properly. And it definitely is looking like they are. Doesn't look like there's as many being hung up, and I'm making sure I'm not actually looking at the Enderman this time, trying to learn from my mistakes from the last previous clip. So I would say that it works in the end, and this is a far better way of getting experience for ourselves moving forward into the future. But one big issue, we need a better sword. So I typically run smite, but in this case, sharpness is a far better sword. So we're going to put all of our levels into making a little bit more of an overpowered sword to better handle this farm and do a better job. We don't want looting, we don't want flame, we just want sharpness. Perfect. Now, time for the final thing. In order to call this project done and dusted, we need to get rid of our leaf platform here just to clean it up a little bit. Now that we are done our Enderman farm, there was one big thing that I noticed we didn't have, and that was Swift Sneak. So I think it's that time for us to go find ourselves an ancient city and hopefully find ourselves some Swift Sneak. Now, sometimes these ancient cities can be tough to find. So right now we are digging underneath the biggest mountain I could possibly find. And it looks like we found one, finally, digging down all the way down into the depths of our world. We finally found ourselves an ancient city. So hopefully we can get lucky and potentially even find ourselves some trim while we're here. Now, I didn't come in here with a whole lot of wool, so I'm going to farm up what we can while we're down here in the meantime. So, we're at our first chest over here. I'm going to try to cover up all these shriekers and these sensors in order to successfully be able to yoink the loot from inside of here without getting caught. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I have to whisper while I'm in here as well. So, working our way in here, I want to make sure that we're not risking anything, but here we go. First chest magic. Let's see what we can get here. And nothing good so far. Just a bunch of candles, a music disc. Although I don't think we have that music disc yet, so that's very nice. And a little bit of garbage. Now at our second chest up in one of the towers, we're just going to go for this one with absolutely nothing even in here. Not even a single swift sneak. So let's go find another. After we yoinked ourselves that nifty hoe, with some pretty good enchants, we're taking this too. I snagged those notch apples as fast as a blink of an eye. I needed those suckers bad, and I was excited to see them. Right here, we finally find ourselves our first Swift Sneak book. Hopefully we can get another. Here it is, where we find our last Swift Sneak 2 book. So now we officially have Swift Sneak 3 to combine the books. Well, I would say that's my cue to leave. I'm going to be leaving the ancient city now. I think I pretty much got everything I wanted, but without the trims. All in all, I would say that's a pretty successful trip to the deep, dark, ancient cities. We're getting out of there with our lives, and we have a new upgrade for our pants. Okay, so I know we have 2 Swift Sneak 2 books somewhere in here. So we're going to combine these 2 in order to throw them on our pants or our leggings, whatever you guys want to call them, wherever you're from. I have an anvil down here. And of course, 12, but that's why we have an XP farm now. So let's go over here. Now that we have our levels, let's throw this on here and chuck it on there. Looks like we're going to need a few more levels in order to throw those on the pants still. And without further ado, we finally have Swift Sneak 3, a builder's best friend, on our pants. Look at us go. We're zipping. So with that finally out the way, we have one big farm that we need to take on, and that is an iron farm over in the spawn chunks. So let's get cracking on that. Okay, so this is the spawn chunks here. You can obviously tell from the crafting bench that I left behind. I kind of started to flatten out a little bit of the area, but I think I'm going to build the iron farm right here. So let's do this. Okay, so that was fairly easy. Thank you to Rayworks for that design right there. But this is the hard part, trying to get the zombie in front of the villagers inside of the actual iron farm so we can produce more iron golems. And then don't even get me started as to where we're going to find the villagers that I want to add to this, because I don't know where we're going to get that from. I don't have any villages kind of nearby, but watch me struggle trying to get this guy into the composter from here on out. Okay, round 2. Going with these guys since the first guy didn't work out. So I got 2 guys here right now. Let's just get rid of one of them. Hopefully this one will go a lot better than the first time. Please, please, please. You know what it is? It's back to this step. Yup. The easy one, right? Remember? Yeah, this step. Okay, I've had to grab the big guns. Yeah, you heard. The water bucket. We're gonna push this guy into place. I'm thinking like this might be the best bet here. This has been quite the journey, I ain't gonna lie. It's probably the hardest part of this whole series right here. Get in here, dude. Stop it. Get in the flipping composter. Oh, no, you're free to walk out. You're free to walk out. It's chill. Okay, there it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, first try. Easy. And there she is. Done. In all her glory, the first golem spawning in to our incredibly easy iron farm. And among our travels of trying to find some resources for our next sheep farm, we found another pink sheep. Not too far away from spawn, too. So that's pretty cool. I think we're going to let this guy live this time. So, I think you guys know what time it is. At this point of the game, we only have one more thing left on our blueprint, and we need to make ourselves a proper sheep farm. In the meantime, between killing some time and trying to get some resources together, I sorted out my entire storage room. Check it out. I think this is way more clean, way more organized than what I originally had. There's still some places that don't really have a home just yet, but I'm kind of moving in now, so it feels pretty good. Feels a little bit more like home. But anyways, time to address these guys over here. They need a better home, so I'm thinking about placing them just on over here. I think this will be kind of like my barn area, so I was thinking right here in this exact location, we'll build the sheep farm. Let's go do this. Okay, so one of the resources that we're going to need in order to build this sheep farm is actually going to be calcite. And in our travels, I have found a jungle temple out here nestled out in the jungle. Ironically, could you imagine? A jungle temple found out in the middle of the jungle? Yeah, real smart, real smart. Stick to the strip. Anyways, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to see if we can get ourselves the wild trim. I haven't really gotten too many trims, so I wouldn't mind testing some out. It's going to be a little bit dark in here. I forgot to turn my gamma up. I'm sorry. Forgive me. We're both blind in this scenario. And there you have it. I don't know how rare the wild trim is, but that's a +1 in our books right there. I should have grabbed the sticky pistons there, but hey, here I am with my builder brain and not even thinking about the redstone behind all that. And hey, I love making pistons, don't you? But here we are. And just to prove to you guys that I'm not an absolute savage, I found another jungle temple on the way, and this time I looked at the sticky pistons and I decided to take all the redstone. Except for the actual redstone, I kind of just left that behind. But anyways, all the dispensers, everything. Also found more trim. Check out this nice looking flippin' mountain I found over here, dude. Looking around for some calcite, and we finally found ourselves a calcite mountain thousands of blocks away from home. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that because that was absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I would love to see somebody build there in the future. But this is what we're really here for, not the village that I'm looking at. I'm here for the calcite. So let's get into this. That is about all my pick can really handle at this point. So I'm going to move on and we will start heading back. I think we have more than enough, and we have some more for later, so we can always come back. Okay, I think we have all the resources in order to push forward with this project here. Everything right here. All that's left to do now is to clear a space in order to build. So let's do that. Okay, well, my shovel's basically toast. So we need to go repair that up real quick. So anyways, I think we have enough space in order to build now. Looking pretty good. But before we end up building, let me see if we have enough to build ourselves a full beacon so I can actually make potentially like jump boost or something that will make this process a lot easier in order to build. But there's a good amount of iron. After scrounging together all the blocks that I have to my name, this is what I have left. Not fully a beacon yet, so we're getting there. Well, if I may say so myself, I would say that this is a pretty dang good looking sheep farm right here. We will, of course, do the interior while we fill it in with sheep so we can make it actually functional, but I try to add in as much detail as I possibly could while fitting kind of like the common theme around the area. And we got ourselves a pretty decent amount of space on the inside here. So I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I hope you guys like this. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe for some more. In the meantime, while we were building up that entire sheep farm, we managed to get ourselves enough iron blocks to finish off an entire beacon. So this is a good feeling right now. Pop this guy back onto here. If I can find where I put my beacon. Of course, I'm going to walk all the way over here to place my ender chest because who wouldn't? I actually thought I had an ender chest over there. It was just my bed. Anyways, got you baited. But here we go. Our full beacon. The first one. Awesome. Okay, so let me just go grab an ingot real fast so we can actually power this up. I think I'm going to go with probably haste 2 so I can clear out a lot of the area around here. I also have my beacon beams turned off if you guys are questioning why that is. I just think that beacon beams kind of look ugly, so not really about that life. There it is. Now let's get rid of a bunch of this. Okay, so I've managed to push back a little bit of the mountainside. And we're going to need a few bows in order to make all these dispensers because who doesn't love making dispensers? They're amazing. And just like that, I think we have enough redstone in order to push forward with the project. I'm just kind of waiting on the glass in order to enclose the sheep now. But before we're actually able to make our sheep farm, we have to make ourselves a little bit of room in here to actually work with. So I think I'm going to build a little bit of a hole digging down. Cleared ourselves a little bit of space. Now I've got all my chests plopped into place. And I'm just popping down these hoppers on top of all these chests to feed right in here from the sheep above. Okay, time for the collection system. The hopper minecarts. They're going to be able to pull the wool through a full block, which is super nice, and feed it straight into the chest for us. Okay, I think I just made literally one of the best discoveries while searching for green dye for our farm. And I think this is going to be our new mega base location in the future. It's got an elder garden area and it is probably the biggest mushroom biome I have ever seen. There's like 3 large continents and then like 2 smaller islands. This is going to be our base in the future. I'm calling it right now, unless we die. I cannot wait to build here. Oh my gosh. But what we really came here for, lime green dye. For those of you guys who didn't know, pop these guys into a furnace. You get yourself some lime green dye. And hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves some cacti here pretty soon too. Since this is a warm biome, we should be able to find something relatively here. Yeah, over here. So this is actually the first desert I found as well. And the sky pack is crazy, dude. I updated the sky pack. We got tornadoes and stuff like that. It's wild. Anyways, I should have probably grabbed more cactus than I really did in hindsight, but here we are. And, of course, we found our first desert temple while we were working our way back from the desert here, so might as well try our luck here. Maybe we'll be able to get ourselves the trim from this location. I haven't really found this one. And this is the first time I've literally ever seen this. I didn't even know this was possible. Did you guys know this was possible? If this has ever happened to you guys, throw a comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what the odds are of this happening. These two things colliding? Hello? Anyways, let's head on down here and let's see what we can find. I've literally played Minecraft for so long and I've never seen this ever happen. So I'm actually kind of curious. But let's take out all of these. Of course, this will actually come in handy. And we got ourselves 3 diamonds in there. Not too bad. A couple emeralds. I'll take the iron. I honestly should be taking the gunpowder too. So, yep. Gonna take all the gunpowder now. Kind of forgot. This isn't the other world where I have 30,000 days. This is the world where I'm struggling for basically everything. So, yeah, not bad. We also found ourselves a camel on the way back. But I don't have a lead or a saddle. And I really wasn't prepared to actually find a camel. Even though I should have thought about it. But we'll have to come back for this guy. Look at him do his thing. We'll definitely be back for you, little buddy. It's actually pretty close to the mushroom biome that we found, so we'll definitely be grabbing him. Okay, we're back at the sheep farm now, placing down all of our dispensers that are going to basically go off by the observers that are going to observe this grass being eaten below the sheep. And you see how the glass is immediately getting sucked up by those hoppers? Well, now, of course, they're not, but they were. Anyways, these guys will be loaded with shears. Almost forgot the ridiculous amount of shears that is required to fill this entire sheep farm up. It's 9 shears per dispenser, although it does last you an extremely long time. Anyways, here's me investing all of my iron that I've pretty much gained besides the beacon straight into shears for like the next 5 days. Okay, officially moving in the first batch of sheep into the sheep farm here. These guys are gonna basically, hopefully, they're not a huge pain in the neck to move in here, but we're basically just gonna dye them as we go. So just gonna make myself a little bit of an area here so they're not falling to their death or anything crazy like that. And let's see if we could just guide them into these holes. Perfect. I'm gonna block this guy off so they don't fall in the same hole, because that would be, well, that would be a pain in the neck. Let's get this guy over here. All right, that guy's in. Pop this in here. And last but not least, this guy. Let's get you in here as well. Now, all we have to do is basically do that over and over and over again until we fill this entire thing. Here's all the sheep in all of their glory, fully in place. Still filling it up with shears, though, at this point. Nice. Now, I should officially have all the shears set in place. I'm just going to shear these guys up real fast to kind of kickstart the system. This is not a requirement. This is just me trying to, come through here and just shear away. Now, I came up with a really cool idea of putting the corresponding candle above the sheep in order to light every pen up. Well, you know what? Maybe candles aren't such a good idea. So I think I'm going to use end rods instead. So we'll have to go to the end now. Yes. Our first end city that we first looted when we found our first pair of wings. How many times can I say first in one sentence? And while we're here, you already know I've got a crippling issue with shulker monsters. So we may as well try and get ourselves a few shulkers while we're here, so we can set ourselves up for some more portable storage in the way. And I still haven't even filled up my entire ender chest. So here we are, collecting end rods and shulker boxes. And you know what? I'd say we've pretty much looted this whole area. We got a good amount of stuff, but let's go get some more wings. Rolling up to the next boat over here. It wasn't too far away from the first end city, so I'm going to quickly come in here. Obviously snag that dragon head. So let's just scoot on in here. Thank you. grab this guy. It's weird how you can't stand too close to the dragon head to mine it. I said it. Anyways, let's go get this second pair of wings. We'll probably grab the brewing stand on our way out too. Because, you know, times are a little bit tough. I don't have a blaze farm. Diamonds. Okay, can't say no to diamonds. And a decent shovel. Okay, cool. Nice. Well, that's our second pair of wings. And we managed to find ourselves the spire trim. So that's another +1 on the trim tree. So I'd say we're heading in the right direction. Well, 3 pairs of wings later and enough end rods to finish our entire build. I would say this has been a pretty successful journey at this point. So let's head on back and finish the interior of our sheep farm. So put together a simple little floor here, and I'm going to use the wool on the floor just to indicate what's what so we can visually see it. So we should be immediately able to see exactly what wool we're pulling from, no matter what chest we're looking at. So there's this. So I'm just going to continue. I'm going to fill all these guys out. Strangely enough, it was a bit of a grind to get all the wool, especially early game. Well, not wool, more like the dyes actually. But I think I like this vibe. It's kind of cozy, kind of goes with the whole vibe. I'm going to try to clean it up a bit after this though, and see what I can come up with. I think I've come up with a very clean, very aesthetically pleasing sheep farm here. Now we can see that we got a little bit of the wool stonks. I really like the dark oak as well. I feel as if it helps complement the interior here. So I can even build some farms up there, but I really like this. And I'm so proud of us. Our first shulker monster of this whole world right here. It's a little one, but it's still, nonetheless, a shulker monster. But anyways, let's clean this all up. I'm going to tidy up around the barn too. And alas, our old sheep pen obviously needs to come down. As we move forward in this world and start to make actual structures, it feels nice to kind of take down the old sheep pen and everything like that as we slowly progress. So this is nice. And is it ever even considered a home without a lodestone? There you have it. For those of you guys that don't know how lodestones work, just right click a lodestone with a compass and you will never lose your home. Your compass will now officially always point towards the lodestone and not your spawn chunks, in case you guys didn't know. But there it is, officially home. And there you have it. And there it is, guys. Another 100 days done and dusted. On to the next 100. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave a thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below what your favorite part of the video was and what you guys want to see me do moving forward. I'm thinking about taking on a mod pack moving forward, a 100 days in a modded mod pack. If you guys want to see me play in a modded mod pack, let me know what modded mod pack you guys would love to see me play. And a reminder, this world will be downloadable at 1,000 days. Or, unless we die. I'll see you guys in the next one.